Good morning, friends. Let's start gardening season 2024 and let me introduce you with my yard. So, here in the entrance on corner, I have my very beautiful mint growing up. Last year, I planted the mints and it's a perennial mint, so it's come up back here, and I'm happy to see the mints here as I use lots of mint in my recipes. So, that's one good thing. Over here this year I'm on a experiment of planting the stuff in a small milk crate kind of baskets. It's a produce baskets. I'm using it to plant my foods this year, so that's a different kind of experience. So as you see, I planted some seeds of lettuce and spinach in the other two, and this is I already planted lettuce from last month, I think couple of weeks. So it's growing up good and I'm using it in my salad. So that's the introduction of my this year's new venture about growing the foods in a milk crate kind of produce basket. That's one thing. I'm gonna i'm gonna introduce you with my more baskets as we go ahead on my tour. Here let me tell you one my last year's last venture of growing garlic. So I specifically prepared this one by eight kind of tool raised garden bed, and I planted all my garlic in last fall, say in the month of October. So I planted all this garlic in October, and they grow up good here. I have one second batch of garlic here, um, 4 by 4 raised garden bed. At the same time, last year in month of October, I planted this garlic, so it's growing up really very good. So that's my garlic progress of this year. Garlic is planted in last year October, and it's going to be get harvested in month of July or August when it gets ready. So that's all about the garlic. Next to the garlic bed, I have my next 4 by 4 bed going up with onions in the front, and some more garlics in the back. And in between the onions rows I planted some lettuce, as lettuce and onions considered to be a very good companion planting. So I plant some lettuce in between. Then next one is my another 4 by 4 bed with spinach. On the back, green peas is growing up, which gonna climb up on the trellis behind. So that's the third one, and the fourth one is here with all my Indian vegetable fenugreek growing up here, and on the back some more peas growing up. On the side of those I planted some more bell pepper plants. I planted Indian vegetable bottle gourd and reach gourd here, and prepared a kind of trellis on the make a roof kind of trellis for them. So in next few days they have a space to climb up and grow. That's the progress about Indian vegetable. And at the bottom I planted cucumber on this basket. Next is zucchini. I have some celery going on here. One more plant of zucchini I planted in a planter. Some more onions I planted in a basket here. Some more different kind of cucumbers I planted in the black baskets, the produce baskets, and I put a tower on the top. So they're gonna climb up on the tower and grow. So that's a new thing about this year, that every year I used to plant all my cucumbers in a raised garden bed over the fence, but this time I'm planting it over in a this kind of milk crate basket. Let's see how it works this year. Next to that I have my two cherry tomato plants. Cherry tomato, it goes so wild when they grow nicely up, so and it overtake all other plants around it. So specifically for the cherry tomato I plant them in a planter, and I put them on site, so it's not gonna overtake other space and to overtake other plant space. So that's what my two best cherry tomatoes. One is a sweet 100 and other one is a sun gold cherry tomato. Let's see how the cherry tomato comes up. Here is my perennial garden. It's doing really well here. Everything it's blooming. Some of the things bloom in the early spring. Now the time to grow the other beautiful flowers. So that's a small patch of my perennial garden, doing very good. Here I'm going to make you introduction of my every year my favorite 4 raised garden bed. Nothing much change, like as usual every year. I like the planting space area, how they works very good. So I follow my same pattern of planting. Like in this first bed I plant my tomato plants. It's some 3-4 different kind of tomato plants, like my favorite big beef tomato, better boy tomato, early girl tomato, and beefsteak tomatoes. And along with tomato plants I have planted some marigold flowers all around it, which works really good for the tomato plants growth because it's deter the pest. It works as a pest control for the tomato plants and others. Next to that, in the second planter I have my paper plants. Like this time I have some different kind of paper plants, like yellow, red, green color. The first 4 is a green color bell pepper, then usually hot cayenne pepper, then red color bell pepper, orange bell pepper. So those are all the paper plants. And in this side of planter I have my 3 different kind of eggplant. The first one is a satin moon, the second one is little fingers, and the third one is a classic eggplant. So those are all about the planting of tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant. Next to that, on this small 3x3 planter I have coriander. I just planted all over here coriander, so which gonna come up next week. Next to that, over here I have bitter gourd. It's an Indian vegetable. Bitter gourd and some pole beans coming up here. So that's all about the planting on this side. Along with that, I have some gladiolus coming up here. I planted some gladiolus bulb and some fragrance flower seeds. I just sprinkle all over on the ground, so they are coming up. Honestly speaking, I don't remember what I planted, but it's some kind of very fragrance, beautiful flowers. So when it comes up, I'll know what I planted there. That's all about. Thank you.